Reaching the peak of technical and tough terrain has got to be one of the best feelings you can get on a mountain bike, knowing that you're about to drop in on some of your favorite descents. That's why we came back to my hometown of Thousand Oaks, California, and we're going to show you guys a few tips on how to restart technical climbs after you've gone offline or lost your momentum. So these are the trails I grew up riding and instilled a love of steep, loose, technical climbs. That's why we came out here today with a Shimano Steps EP8 equipped Kona remote and wanted to give you guys a few tips and techniques on how to master restarting a climb after you've lost traction. Now it's really tough when you're out and you round a corner and you're just pedaling up a vertical ascent and your tire spins out, your front tire lifts off the ground and you go offline. Hopefully by the end of this video, you'll have a little more confidence when it comes time to restart your climb after you've lost traction. We're gonna give you tips on what power mode to be in, gear selection, saddle height, and a few other things that are really gonna help get started back up the trail. So some common things that we really see out on the trails is people wanting to be in boost mode or the improper gear when they want to get up some of the really steep technical terrain. You can get started in boost mode, you can get started in trail mode, but we want to just give you a little bit of information to help make the decision on which way might be the best for your local terrain. The difference between boost and trail mode on a Shimano EP8 system is the power curve. So in boost, power is instantly going to come on and accelerate very rapidly. In trail mode, it's going to be a more predictive and slightly slower ramp in that power delivery. And that could be the difference between you making half a pedal stroke and doing a burnout, or getting half a pedal stroke and the bike just slowly accelerating and getting you enough balance and momentum to get that other foot on the pedal and continuing up the trail. A big factor for you guys to consider when trying to do this is the gear selection. If you're in too easy of a gear and you're spinning too fast, your crank's gonna be up at this position and you're gonna spin, especially if you're in boost mode, and you're instantly gonna be at the very bottom. You're gonna get that half a pedal stroke in, and before you can get that your opposite foot up on that pedal, the tire will have spun either and lost traction, or you won't have enough momentum on a really steep climb, and you're gonna have to stall out, put your foot down before you lose balance. Conversely, if you're in too hard of a gear, you are going to stand on that pedal, you're going to overload that torque sensor, you're not going to get any movement at all, and you're going to stall out, be back on the ground, and wondering how you can get back up this hill. So it's really important that you find a gear that gives just enough resistance when you stand on it to where the motor can engage and give you that torque and assistance, but not an easy enough gear to where you just instantly fall to the bottom of the pedal stroke and that tire just spins and rockets forward. Again, that's going to be something that you play with and are going to have to feel out depending on how loose the trail is and how steep the trail is. Another really important factor that we see people struggle with is that they're used to climbing with their seat at maximum extension all the time. Or if they get nervous and they think it's too technical, they'll slam the seat all the way down, which means you can't get enough power out of the quads and your legs without hurting your knee, or just can't get the power, period. And you're not going to be able to get that motor to engage, give you the torque. And what we find is that somewhere around a 50% to 65% saddle height from the full height is going to be the ideal spot, because it will slide your center of gravity forward. As you can see, your center of gravity is out here off the back. When you slide your seat down, your center of gravity scoots forward a little bit, but you still have enough leg extension and power to engage that motor and put down enough watts to get this bike going forward again. So we're gonna kind of take you guys to a few spots down here and give you some examples. Obviously there's more than just body position and power mode and gear selection to make climbing successful. And we're gonna show you a couple of those key tricks that we found along the way. All right, so for the sake of argument, I was getting up this climb just beautifully. I turn around behind me to see how far my slow friend is. And in doing so, my front tire lifted up, I went offline into the bushes, and now I've put myself in a predicament. I need to restart my climb, and I basically have two options right now. Option one, because walking, that's never an option. If it is, we'll show you how to use walk mode later. But the two options are, I take the high line, which is very steep. It looks intimidating, but there's guaranteed traction because that is embedded rock. It is solid, it's gonna be good, but steep. Option two is I go left on this low line, which as you can see is very loose and marbly. It's where everything has fallen off and is sitting. So I'm gonna try to take both lines and I'm gonna do a little demonstration of too hard of a gear, too easy of a gear, and then just the right gear, and show you the difference in what it looks like. Also, I'm going to show you guys where I place the bike to get started to give me a good platform. It's like a track runner, you know, they get on those starting blocks and you want to carry that principle over to restarting your climb. Find that starting block, find a good grippy rock or a piece of dirt that's clear of debris, prop that bike up like I'm going to do right here on this outside. I'm going to lean it against that rock. It levels the bike out a little bit, gives me a solid base. I don't have to fight the bike, hold on to the brakes while I'm trying to get on. It lets me get settled, find my seat position. Obviously, like I said, I don't want to be too low because I won't be able to pedal or get any power. I don't want to be too high because I want to be able to touch the ground if I do have to dab, and I don't want to loop out. So I'm going to go up to about 3/4 height and just enough to give me some power. Right now, I'm in too hard of a gear. I'm in boost mode and too hard of a gear for this climb, but I want to show you guys what it's going to look like when I try that in boost and why it's not the right move. I'm not able to get moving. I'm overloading that motor. It's not giving me the torque because my body's torque is overriding that. So now we're going to go to too easy of a gear and show you guys what that's going to look like. What's probably going to happen is this crank, I'm going to drop in, the power is going to kick in boost, and I'm just going to spin really fast but not go anywhere. So here we go in easy gear. All right, I looped out and then lost traction. So I'm going to drop down. Obviously, I'm going to probably drop down 3 gears, and we're going to see what this acceleration is going to look like. It's like, what's that story about the porridge being just right, not too hot, not too cold? And we're off. Sometimes when you're out climbing, what looks like the harder line is actually going to be the easier line. Might require a little bit more physical exertion, but the payoff is going to be a smoother, better ride with more traction. So, you know, you might see a low line that's very loose and rubbly, or a vertical pitch that's embedded rock, and that's going to always give you more traction and grip, which means that's the way you're going to want to go, because you'll end up saving yourself some energy if you can keep your momentum up and ride rather than stop, try to restart, or spin your tire and lose traction. You know, that's gonna rob energy as you're riding up a hill. All right, so we've made it up a little bit farther and encountered our next stall out. As you can see, this is a rather intimidating looking climb. There's probably a lot of people that would round a corner and see that and be like, there's no way I can make it up that. It just can't be done. The reality is, the bike will do it, you can do it, you just have to be confident and know the technique. So if you approach something like this, you're gonna probably transition from a more seated pedaling position to standing. And why you're gonna do that is it's gonna allow you to be a little bit more dynamic and move on the bike. You won't be bouncing and reliant upon the suspension of the bike to bounce you and kick you around. You'll also be able to stand over the bars and distribute your weight better, keeping that front tire down, which you're going to need to do on something this steep. So at that point, you can drop your seat post a little bit more if needed. It might give you a little more confidence, let you stand up a little bit better, and really put the power down. But before you get there, you've got to get started, right? So this happens to be a pretty wide section of trail. It gives you a lot of options. Not many of them are very great options, but it definitely gives you at least a spot to pick and start your attempt. Now for me, I'm going to try to find something out here on this outside edge. It's a little bit harder pack. I've got a nice little starting block, and it's pretty flat comparatively. So it's going to give me a chance to at least get one solid pedal stroke, let that EP8 motor come into power, and let me get both feet on the pedals, situated and moving. If you're on a single track and you don't have as many options, what I try to do is give myself the best advantage possible. So I will regularly back my bike kind of out here off the trail if needed, rather than being in this rut where it's really steep, loose, and vertical. I will cross the trail sometimes. I'll find a block or a rock on the outside of the single track out here. This initial momentum downhill is going to give me a chance to get another half pedal stroke in. And really that's all you need, is just a little bit more. Once again, I'm going to change my gear. I'm going to drop it and give myself a little bit better of a chance to get some speed going. So here we are, steep, vertical, loose rock from a dead stop. Show you guys how easy this is to do. So put your pedal, you don't want to be all the way here to where you get no power. You don't want to start here because you're going to instantly be at the bottom of your stroke. So you want to be as high as you can to get an effective push. Use that other foot as well, and just give yourself a little go. All right, so the last ditch effort, we've all been there, it happens. Walk mode. The Shimano EP8 walk mode has been improved greatly over the Steps E8000. And basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna push and hold the down button to get it out of whatever pedal or trail mode you were in. And after you get it into walk mode, it will light up blue. You're just gonna hold that down button and the bike will engage and give you a walking assist up the hill. So as you can see, this is a 50+ pound bike, and I'm not pushing. The walk mode is doing all the work for me. Well, folks, that is it. Thank you for tuning in to another episode. We would like to extend a big thanks to Shimano for all their help with the education, getting us the bikes, and being able to help offer some useful information and insight to you guys. Hopefully in this video, you found some useful stuff that will help you clean challenges, climbs, and other trail features that might have been stumbling blocks before. Thank you guys, we appreciate you very much. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a comment below, and we hope to see you out on the trails.